Mr Speaker, given the recent challenges to the Equality Act, will the Prime Minister commit to protecting those laws which prevent discrimination at work and in society, making sure that women aren't fired for being pregnant and ensuring that everyone is treated fairly, regardless of their sex, race or disability?
Mr Speaker, I'm proud of the Equality Act that was passed by the last Labour government. We will always fight for working people, and compare that to Reform, who want to go back to the dark days where people can be discriminated against because of who they are, ripping up protections for workers and renters, and ending the right for grieving parents to take a few days off work if the worst should ever happen to their child. But, Mr Speaker, I also have to raise this. A death threat was shared by Reform's Deputy Council leader in Lancashire against the brilliant member for Bolsover. It said she should be shot. When death threats were made against the member for Clacton, I stood at this dispatch box and condemned them outright. If he has any decency or backbone, he will stand up, apologise, condemn the comments and sack the individual in his parties. Will he do so?
Nigel Farage.
Thank you, Mr Speaker. At the age of 14, Michel Mandarin was forcibly removed from his home, the coral atoll of Ile-de-Quoi, dumped on the quayside in Mauritius, forced to live on food scraps out of bins. He has resettled those islands and yet now faces a removal order from yet another Labour government. So maybe twice in one lifetime he's going to be asked to leave his homeland. Can I ask the Prime Minister, for a government that is full of human rights lawyers, within and without, why do the opinions and human rights of Indigenous Chagossians not matter to him at all?
Prime Minister.
So he has neither the decency nor the backbone to condemn a death threat to a member of this House, whichever party they are in. He doesn't have the decency or the backbone to condemn it and to sack the individual. And that just shows that his party have got nothing to offer the country but grievance and division. Look at their candidate in Gorton and Denton, a man who says anyone who isn't white cannot be English. No wonder he's been endorsed by Tommy Robinson. It doesn't represent our country, and anybody who wants to stand against that hatred and division should vote Labour on Thursday tomorrow in Gorton and Denton.
Robbie Moore.
Thank you, Mr Speaker. In 2014, a man in my constituency was ambushed, violently beaten with a pickaxe handle and left lying in the street with serious injuries. At the time of the conviction, the judge called it a brutal attack. Mr Speaker, many constituents have contacted me to express their concern that the perpetrator of this attack is still a sitting Labour councillor in Keighley and was recently pictured celebrating an election with convicted crack cocaine and heroin dealers. Prime Minister, on behalf of all victims of serious crime, will you, as the leader of the Labour Party, ensure that Councillor Mohsin Hussain is not permitted to stand in the local elections this May?
Prime Minister.
I thank you for raising this. I will look into it straight away and give him a full answer.
Sir Edwards.
Thank you, Mr Speaker.
Order. Mr Fenton Glenn, you're getting carried away with some other colleagues behind you. Mr Davis and others, please. Sir Edwards. It's Roger Gale.
Thank you, Mr Speaker. Mr Speaker, you will recall that some months ago I asked the Prime Minister why, as the Director of Public Prosecutions, he did not bring charges against Mohammed Fayed for rape and for assault. And the Prime Minister replied that this did not cross his desk. I understand that the Met Police delivered 2 dossiers to the Crown Prosecution Service, so if the Prime Minister didn't see them, who did? And could he tell the House when he expects the Metropolitan Police to bring charges against those who aided and abetted Fayed?
Prime Minister.
I stand by my answer. Hundreds of thousands of files are submitted to the prosecution service every year. It is important that the investigation is going on. I can't tell him when the decision will be made or what the decision will be, as he well knows, but it is important that every allegation is properly investigated and properly dealt with according to the law.
Final question, Calvin Bear.
Thank you, Mr Speaker. 4 years after Russia's illegal invasion, Britain backs Ukraine's fight for freedom. The same freedoms that Labour used to forge NATO to defend. But while Ukraine fights to join NATO, the Green Party wants to break it up. So does the Prime Minister agree with me that as war continues and as Russia broadens its attacks across Europe, those who attack NATO are betraying our security and, to coin a phrase, are they becoming Putin's useful idiots?
Well, my honourable and gallant friend is absolutely right. Our support for Ukraine is unwavering. And yesterday, I chaired the Coalition of the Willing Call and announced new sanctions to weaken Putin's war machine. The Greens, by contrast, want to pull out of NATO and negotiate with Putin our nuclear deterrent. And Reform are still parroting Kremlin talking points after their leader in Wales was jailed for taking Russian bribes. Both of them are weak on NATO and soft on Putin.
Thank you, Mr Speaker. And may I associate myself with the remarks of the Prime Minister in respect of Team GB and Ukraine. A great former Prime Minister once said, "U-turn if you want to, the lady's not for turning." Like the leader of my party today, she was a leader of principle and backbone. But we know this current government is no stranger to the U-turn. So given that, can I gently tempt the Prime Minister to add one more to the current tally to help get Britain working again by backing the fantastic shops and businesses in Melton Mowbray Town Centre and high streets across my constituency and beyond to succeed and grow, by scrapping the government's business rate changes that will hit so many of them hard in
Well, it's good to see him in good form, particularly, if I may say so, after his health scare, which he and I have discussed a number of times. He discusses a former leader of his party. He was the former health minister, I think, who presided over record waiting lists. He was the former prison minister who left the prisons overcrowding. And he was the former economy minister under Liz Truss. We're picking up the mess and we're turning it around.